Seems legit? Yeah, Mega Man 3 has some of those weird top-of-the-screen hit detection issues, much like the original game did. I'm not sure if there's anywhere that you can grab onto ladders from the top of the screen like I did in the first game, but you can certainly grab power-ups from there. Kind of a strange oversight, that, but it is a bit of a double-edged sword, as it detects enemy hitboxes too. I think that happened to Kit during one of his speedruns and actually killed him. Anyway... Hello, Rowan Mithril here once again, getting back to Mega Man 3's Doc Robot stages. But first, a couple of quick things to cover here. First, this is not my 1000th video. There's some sort of weird discrepancy in how many videos I actually have uploaded and how many it's telling viewers that I have. However, looking through them myself to verify, this is only my 996th video. I'm flattered that my viewers want to make a big deal out of it and everything, but honestly, it's just a number of uploads really, nothing too spectacular about it. I don't really plan on doing anything special with it, I'll just be continuing on as I am. I feel like that's really the best thing I can do for my viewers and fans. But now something a little more solidly Mega Man related. I've been asked to explain just what the deal is with Doc Robot's name. It's actually kind of a Japanese play on words that got lost in translation. Doc Robot's Japanese name is Doku Roboto. It's actually a Japanese portmanteau, a combination of two other words. You see this sort of thing with a lot of Pokemon names, for example. In this case, it's a combination of Dokuro, meaning skull, and Roboto, meaning robot, thus Skull Robot. However, upon translation, Capcom basically just gave it a phonetic translation, resulting in the odd name of Doc Robot. In turn, this led to a strange version of Doc Robot that showed up in the old cartoon, Captain N the Game Master. There, Doc Robot was just a small robot that looked like a stylized Dr. Wily, lab coat and all. Perhaps Skullman in Mega Man 4 was Capcom Japan's way of saying, get it right this time. And so with all that out of the way, it's time for the next of the Doc Robot stages, Shadow Man Revisited. Bonus star for landing on the most happening spaces. So as we return to Shadow Man's stage, the mysterious liquid in the background is missing, revealing a bunch of death spikes. It's not too difficult to get past them, just keep your eye open, especially since they try and surprise you right at the end there. Still, not too tricky to get past that. So Proto Man is still gone, and instead we have to deal with this thing. Fortunately, it's easy enough to get past it. A lot easier than Big Eye. Heck, you can just slide under it if you want. It never has a variance in jump height or anything, so yeah, they're easy enough to deal with. These platforms, on the other hand, they are a bit tricky. They slide open as you land on them. There's just enough time if you do a full height jump to land back on them to try and readjust yourself, but over bottomless pits like this, it's still kinda dicey. Oh god, come on. Almost out. Good. Alright, just avoid the walking bombs, and we're good. Alright, halfway point. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean things are gonna be any easier. Time for the third Doc Robot fight, Doc Wood. The larger hitbox, it makes this fight a lot more difficult. The leaf shield is a bit bigger and requires pretty careful timing to get around it. That and the epic dodge maneuver is a lot more difficult as well. Alright, here we go. Gonna go a bit quiet. Okay, good, made it. Doesn't get easier on this side, though. You can't hide in the alcove because you don't have the jump height to get over the leaf shield anymore, so you have to dodge the falling leaves. And you have to do this multiple times. This is a nerve-wracking fight. Okay, epic dodge time again. Yeah. Alright, not chancing it, just running. Ah, thank God. Darkwood is finished. Hopefully. I hope I don't have to do that again. Already had to redo it at least once. The second half of the stage isn't too bad. Of course, I've definitely been practicing it a lot because I really don't want to have to redo Darkwood if I can help it. Excessive science juice flooding! The Parasus here, try to trigger them early, and watch out for the Mecha Kyros. Could've sworn there was one there. Just really don't want to blow it this late in the stage. Because the second half of the stage is actually fairly short overall. Alright, just one last obstacle. The positioning makes it a bit tricky, but not too bad. Alright, we're almost done. Let's get this right this time, please. Time for Dark Heat. Like the original Heat Man, the only tricky part is dodging the first volley of fire. You have to land right between those two pillars, and from there we're good. Just take your time, and don't be afraid to shoot a lot. The slowdown can kind of lock up the controls a little bit, so spam that fire button. Just get out of the way and take your time. When he blazes across the screen, he will shoot to wherever you were standing when he started the motion. Given the variable time in which he'll just charge it up before actually going across, you really want as much reaction time as you can afford to have, so get across the screen as much as possible. If you're feeling more daring, you can make this fight go a lot faster just by getting out of the range of the fire and shooting immediately, or just trying to shoot immediately to keep him from even throwing the fire again, but it's a lot riskier, and I would rather not chance it after all that. It does make it a pretty lengthy, monotonous fight, but so be it. I just really do not want to screw it up at this point. Oh god, getting ready for this one. I didn't think this was going to be so bad. I didn't think Darkwood was going to be that hard. I was thinking too much of the original Woodman fight, just with sliding added to make it easier. I was wrong. I was terribly, horribly wrong. I don't even want to take my eyes off this long enough to look at the life bar to see how close I am to being done. If I stop looking for just a split second, that's when he's going to just ram me. Alright, there we go. Shadow Man Revisited is done. Blessedly done. Alright, password screen. Lovely. That was a thing. Alright. Yeah. 2 down, 2 to go, and plenty of outtakes. No prizes for guessing where the most of them were. Enjoy! Now we have these new platform types. And a bad jump. But you have to be really careful about it. Especially now that they're over death pits. It looked like I should have landed on that again, but okay. But here things get quite dicey because they're over a bottomless pit. And it can be easy to trip right off of them just like that. The problem here is the hitbox. It's bigger than Woodman's was, making the leaf shield a bit trickier to dodge. Bugger! But also, it makes him completely invincible this time. It's not like before where if you were feeling daring, you could stick the Mega Buster through the... well, meh. It's a very precise dodge maneuver you have to do. Only it's a lot... that seems kind of odd. It's much like the original Woodman, it's a very precise dodge maneuver you have to do. Only it's a lot more exact this time, and you have to do it multiple times. Should you even get that far? Bugger! Only it's a lot more exacting this time as to what you have to do to get around him. And that was way too early. Okay, just about time. Almost! Bugger! Like the original Woodman, it's a very precise dodge maneuver you have to do, and I swear it feels like my jump slowed down there. More than the leaf shield did. Much like the original Woodman, it's a very precise dodge maneuver you... really? And you have to do it multiple times this time, making it a lot trickier should you even make it that far. It makes the leaf shield a bit bigger and harder to dodge. Plus, the epic dodge maneuver is a lot trickier and more precise this time, and boy, you have to be spot on with the timing. Okay, here's where the epic dodge maneuver comes into play. Didn't quite go back far enough. Bugger! Due to the larger hitbox, getting around the leaf shield is a... I swear sometimes it feels like I'm jumping through molasses. It makes the leaf shield bigger for one thing. And that was way too early. And the epic dodge maneuver is a lot tougher as well. Ah, not fast enough. Blast you! May as well demonstrate you cannot shoot through the leaf shield this time. It renders him completely invincible. Definitely one of the tougher Doc robots to fight. Due to the larger hitbox, yeah, that was all kinds of clumsy. Multiple times, unlike the original Woodman fight, where you could usually get away with just one epic dodge maneuver. Ah, too early. I know I can do this, I know it's possible, I've seen it done, I've gotten close myself. Not this time, though. It makes the leaf shield bigger for one thing, and also you have to do the epic dodge maneuver multiple times. Blast! Getting around the leaf shield is a bit trickier, and it really seemed like I should have cleared that. And the epic dodge maneuver, oh, it's a lot worse. Not fast enough. Blast you! His hitbox is a good deal bigger, making the dodge maneuver a lot tougher. Just like that. Okay. We're into the second half of it now. And blast. It can be done. I'm getting closer. And the epic dodge maneuver, even worse. Hey, made it. Awesome. Okay, but the battle does not get easier from this point. Yeah, you can't hide in the alcove over here because then you can't jump over the leaf shield. Proof of concept, yeah. Bugger! Too early. Gonna practice this anyway. Well, almost. At least I think I'm getting a little better with that. Getting around the... Really? Really? Oh, you are such a pest. Gonna practice the epic dodge maneuver anyway. Too early. Yeah, that's gonna require a lot of practice. And so, after all that, we end things with Doc Heat. Like the original Heatman, the start of the battle is the only really tricky part. No! Oh, no, 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 not after all that. That means I've got to go through Doc Wood again. Oh. I need a Pokemon break. Ugh. This one was painful. No mistaking that. And to think I actually thought this would be one of the easier ones. I give Doc Robot Shadow Man Revisited a 10 out of 10. Yeah, no two ways about this one. I let myself fall into a trap of thinking of the original Woodman battle, and thinking this one would pretty much be the same, perhaps even easier due to Mega Man's slide. I was wrong. Terribly, horribly wrong. I forgot to take into consideration Doc Wood's larger hitbox. It makes for quite the troublesome fight, having to do so many close-quarter dodges in that fight. Quite the thing, that. Doable, but it takes a good deal of practice and patience to get it right. I would like to extend thanks to a couple of other gamers here on YouTube, RedMage1987 and Not Entirely Sure. They also do Mega Man challenges on their channels, so watching their work helped a lot in understanding just what had to be done here. It's still tough to get right though, even knowing what's expected. It's easy to jump too early or a fraction of a second too late, and then that's it, leaves to the face. And then, even if you do manage to perfect Doc Wood, there's always that problem of getting the first dodge against Doc Heat wrong. This does, however, sort of bring to mind one issue with the whole two bosses thing. It's that, in at least 3 of the Doc Robot stages, it feels kinda weird how much easier the second boss is than the first. Now, from a perfect running standpoint, I'm all too happy to clear the harder of the 2 bosses first. But it does make the ending feel a bit anticlimactic comparatively. That'll change on the last Doc Robot stage, but hey, that's a subject for another video. As far as this stage goes, though, the difficulty does extend a bit beyond the bosses in at least one case. Those new platforms, they can be a bit tricky sometimes. Trying to correct yourself to gain more jump distance, especially over the bottomless pit, yeah, that can catch you sometimes. So this stage, it definitely earns that 10 out of 10 in several places. So with that, that's the end of this one. I'm hoping the next one won't take as long, but no promises. There's some precise dodging to come in this one, too. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.